I'm going to talk about some of the clues I used to find, you know, the reincarnated mother of all creation because, it's like I kind of put the cart before the horse, but I didn't want to miss out my opportunity on January 12th, so that's why I did that video. So I'm now going to show you some several clues, the most basic clues of the investigation I used to find this girl, so that you, mankind, can understand where I developed emotional attachment with her spirit. I'm not in love with her as a person because I don't know her. Where I'm in love with is her spirit, but I'm in love with the idea of being with her. So there's a difference. So when you read that poem, it's not coming from the perspective of um, an obsessed person. It's coming from the perspective of me loving her spirit and loving the fact that I want to get with her. So you got to distinguish the two. So I'm gonna show you a few of the clues in the investigation so that you can get a bit better understanding of why I'm saying who she is. So Audrey is that's my great aunt, my mother's aunt. Her nickname is 88, and she used to be the community photographer. She used to take pictures all the time at funerals, weddings, family functions. So I know she has lots of pictures of me at her place. Her granddaughter Cassidy, um, and Jaden are friends. However, where's this one? Oops. Her Audrey's daughter is named Sheryl. Okay. Um, so there's a song called "Picture" by Sheryl Crow. So I theorized that Sheryl and picture means that 88, whose daughter is Sheryl, means that Jaden must have came across a picture of me at Sheryl. So when you listen to this song, it's about her putting away a picture that she found of me at 88, or developing an emotional attachment to a much younger version of myself at 88, and her putting that picture away, or the emotions that she once carried for me, putting those emotions away because she's now in love with a different person. That's what the song is based on. Her putting those supposed emotions away in favor of falling in love with this other man. So Cheryl and picture means that I theorize she came across a picture of me at Audrey's or 88's. Now, the word honey bun means that she's the queen bee. Honey, like queen bee. Bun is her first cousin. She has a cousin named Brandon, but we call him Bun. So first cousin means she's first in creation. She's the first bee in creation, or she's the queen bee. That's what honey means. She's the queen bee. She's first. So in a past life, she was the first person to pop into existence beside me as the creators. That's what that means. Bun means first cousin, or first honey, meaning first bee, first queen bee. So um, Cheryl and picture means I theorized that she found a picture of me at Cheryl's that Audrey took of me growing up. I theorized that that picture of me was when I was 17, and I'll get into that clue after these videos. So that's what that means, girl. It means there's a potential that, you found a picture at Cheryl's taken by Audrey, and that you're the queen bee of all creation, and you're the first one to come into existence. Honey bun, or you're my honey bun. However, there's been a series of events that has, made you push me away, right? So, and I can understand why. So that's one clue. So the next clue is Back to the Future here. Okay, so when you watch Picture, then you watch Back to the Future. This here is talking about when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious crap, right? So 88 basically means when this baby hits Audrey's, you're gonna see some serious crap. So when this baby, it can be a metaphorical meaning when this when this girl finds a picture of me at 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious crap. Meaning, if it's true that you developed a crush or a picture of me at Sheryl's, that's basically what it means. When this girl finds a picture of me at 88, you're going to see some serious shit. Meaning, if I can convince her through this investigation that I'm about to show you that I know things that formulate the theory that she had a crush on me, and I convince her to get back with me, then that's when you're going to see some serious crap. Because if I could get her pregnant with a baby, we could single-handedly be responsible for winning by triumphing over evil, by putting them to sleep, by shocking their souls and neural links with positive electricity. So that's the serious stuff. So here are some fires. So I'm gonna take a picture of that, right? Twin flame. So what are twin flames, and how to know if you found yours? So twin flames is connected to that picture there. It's a reference to me being her twin flame. Like Marty here, I think he's like 17. He goes to school. So you want to think of Marty as being me at 17, where she potentially found a picture of me and developed like a crush. That's one flame. However, it's like that. Like develop a picture of me, a younger version. And I'm trying to ignite this flame over here. This flame has gone out because of me trying to tell her story, me trying to convince her who she is. So she's lost interest in me because she's basically in love with another man. So that flame has gone out. So I'm trying to reignite that flame that she once had for me over here and ignite it over here as an older version of myself. That's the twin flames. However, twin flames means somebody that you're destined to be with forever. So I'm telling you, she's my twin flame, but she doesn't believe me. So if I can get her to stand beside me, then we become the twin flames. And that's similarly what the twin flames represent. Her developing a crush on Marty McFly, or 17-year version of me, and me being 51 years old now, and her, am I 51 or 52? 26. Yeah, 52. I'll be 52 in March. So trying to get her to reignite a flame for a 52-year-old man that has long since gone out. So that's a representation of the twin flames. So when the car comes back, the DeLorean, this is a time machine. So time machine simply means grandmother time, because that's what it means. Like the car is a representation of time. So because the car is cold, it's a representation of her being cold towards me. Meaning, you imagine somebody finding a picture of somebody, developing a crush on it, but then falling in love, but knowing that you're never going to be with that person, because I'm like 26 years her senior. So if she developed a crush on me, she knows that she's never going to get with me. So, and then when she falls in love with her first love, of course that crush is going to disappear. She's not going to want anything to do with me, just simply because it's a fantasy constructed in the mind that she knows is not going to go anywhere at all, because I'm 26 years her senior and it'll never go anywhere. So when she gets with her boyfriend, she loses that just of that phase that she's going through. So she becomes cold towards me. And it doesn't help that I wrote, a couple letters to my community that, have impacted her and made her not like me. So those letters of me trying to convince her of who she is has done more harm than good. So that's why the car is cold. So she doesn't want anything to do with me because of a couple letters I wrote, some posts on Facebook that she didn't like. So she's now cold towards me. So it's bad enough that she lost interest in me because of the first love, but now she's cold towards me because because of my attempts to try to make her understand who she is. So that's the song, Cold as Ice. So she's become cold as ice towards me. So right here it's basically cold, and you're willing to sacrifice our love. So I'm telling you that you're the reincarnated mother of all creation, and that Audrey clue, that's a big red flag, and you should pay attention to that. So you're willing to sacrifice our love, and you don't think of ice as something you'll pay the price. Meaning, if you don't, listen to what I have to say, and listen to the investigation of how I found you, and then weigh those clues in yourself with what I'm proposing. So if once you're done watching all these investigation clues, if you still believe that you're not the mother of all creation and you don't want that job, that's you're fully fine to take that road if you want. If, however, you have a change of heart and say, okay, I see where he comes up with his clues, perhaps maybe I should consider maybe being with him, then you know that's cool too. But if you don't take that opportunity to listen to what I have to say, analyze all the information, and just disregard it, someday you'll pay the price because you could, in theory, be living under somebody else forever. Because I'm telling you, you're the reincarnate of all creation. But if you don't believe me, Leia could get that job, Tatum could get that job, Mackenzie could get that job, Ava could get that job, Charlotte could get that job, Alma could get that job, or Olivia Rodrigo could get that job. So that's what it means by someday you'll pay the price. So now over here it's just simply I don't want to get into too much detail, but I'll just leave with those two there because you need to reignite that flame for me is what I'm saying. So I'm going to talk about the flame now because this is the 7-part prophecy here, the flame. And so you want to watch this one too. So and people could practice their religion without fear. That a little boy would dream of the ironwood log. So the little boy is just, it's just a reference to me. The sacred bundles and the scrolls were buried. The scrolls is it's connected to Captain Marvel, because the bad guys are called scrolls. Were buried. So I'm going to spin this as being, the mother burying, her emotions for me through the connection to Captain Marvel, because in Captain Marvel, she's the most powerful Avenger. So I'm just going to word that as, she's buried her emotions for me. Is the captain of all creation. She's buried the emotions. The young boy would lead his people to that place. So that place, that young boy, is me trying to lead you to this lady that I'm saying is the mother of all creation. I'm leading you to her, and I'm trying to convince you that she's the one that we need to follow. But if she doesn't want that job, then don't worry. I got other people lined up that might want that job. So the seventh prophet that came to the people long ago was, is said to be different from other prophets. He was young. He had a strange light in his eyes. That's me being young and having a strange light in the third eye, in other words. So that's the strange light in eyes. So he said in the time of the seventh fire, new people will emerge. So new people is having your third eye opened up. That's what it means. Retrace their steps to find what is left by the trail. So, I'm just gonna keep this specific to our story. I don't want to deviate from it. So I'm gonna keep it as our story. So new people emerge. So let's say that she emerges because her third eye opens up. So she can retrace their steps to find what was left by the trail. So if she listens to me and what I have to say, she could retrace her steps back to potentially a timeline when she did have an emotions for me, when she came across that picture at 88, if that story's true. That's her retracing her steps, like, oh yeah, I do remember finding that picture. Yeah. So if she does that, then she can retrace her steps back to that potential timeline and maybe reopen an emotional bond that I theorized that she once had for me. So that's her retracing her steps. Like the new people is her waking up with her third eye. Find what is left by the trail. So the trail is me showing all these clues so she can see the trail that I've discovered, and that will take them to the elders. So hopefully this story will take her to me. I'm the elder because elders is plural, meaning grandmother and grandfather, because I'm Alpha and Omega. And we'll ask them to guide them on their journey. So basically her not literally asking me right away, but watching all these videos, and hopefully at some point in time, maybe she can ask me, say, okay, I've seen the clues, I understand why you're saying what you're saying now, and to be quite honest, I think I want to take that job. I want to take you up on that offer. So can you please guide me on my journey? And that just means teaching her how to do the purification, teaching her how to exercise every day, what foods to eat. So that's her asking me to take her on this, guide her on the journey. But many of the elders will have fallen asleep. So that's just you want to think of that as being her falling asleep, like her atoms and quarks, right? Those are elders. That's the mother of all creation. So if those quarks are falling asleep, it's just basically she's fallen asleep. She's not awake spiritually, in other words. So because elders is plural, it just means mother and daughter and grandmother. So think of her as being the elders that's fallen asleep. They'll awaken to this new time. So when she watches these shows, she's going to awaken her third eye, right? With nothing to offer. So she won't be able to offer anything because I'm the father and mother of all creation, and I'm looking to put my soul or my female half into somebody so they can become the mother. So she doesn't have nothing to offer. In other words, she's not the mother yet unless she accepts this job. So that's what that means. She's going to awaken with her third eye and have nothing to offer in terms of, I didn't know that I was a mother of all creation. I'm just an average, ordinary girl. Anthony has all the information. He knows everything. So he's the one that has something to offer. So some of the elders will be silent out of fear. So if there's any truth to what I'm about to tell you, Jaden, and mankind, then there'll be a sense of fear because if she's been telling her family and friends that she never had a crush on me whatsoever, but perhaps maybe she did, and she's been not, truthful, then that could create a little bit of fear, is what I theorize. So there could be a little bit of fear there. But also the fear of having to get with me and my baggage, there's also fear there. But there's also fear of, if I'm correct and she, wants to become the mother, then she has to have that conversation with her spouse, meaning that family is going to be ripped apart, and there's a great deal of fear there as well. So will she say something to her spouse, meaning will she have that conversation and say, oh my God, I have a chance to be the mother of all creation if I go talk to Anthony, but we have this family, I've been married to you for, X number of years and we have a child. I don't know what to do. There's a great deal of fear there as well. So will she say something out of fear? So that's why there's a silence around the fear. Many ways to interpret it. And then you got some of the elders will be silent because no one will ask anything. That's me. I'm the elders being silent because she won't ask anything of me, meaning I'll be sitting here waiting for a response, but may not get a response out of her. And if I don't get a response, that means I have to move on to one of my other potential mates. So some of the elders will be silent because, or Anthony will be silent because Jaden won't ask anything of me. And that's what I mean. It won't ask anything of them. So the new people will have to be careful on how they approach the elders. So the new people, that's you ladies, like the 90 ladies. It's like Jaden, Leah, Tatum, Mackenzie, Ava, you're on that list as well. So there's 5 there. And then we got Charlotte, Alma, Blue Ivy, and Olivia Rodrigo. I think those are my 9. So there's 9 there so far. So those ladies will have to be careful on how they approach the elders. Meaning they have to be careful on how they approach me because rejection automatically takes you off the list. So if you reject me, automatically off that list of becoming the future mother of all creation. That's all that means. Just be careful, ladies, how you approach this issue. So the task of the new ladies or new people will not be easy. Meaning they're going to have to deal with the baggage that I carry around of spiritual warfare. It now becomes their issue as well. Because if they can get over the issue of the baggage that I carry, and they can carry that baggage alongside of me, then they could pick up the torch as the new mother of all creation. So that's what it means. It's not going to be an easy task for them. But if the new people, or if the nine prospective mothers remain strong in their quest, the water drum with the day one launch, meaning one of them will become pregnant and will eradicate evil from all existence. That's what that means. Well, sound its voice. So the voice I already said is like a baby's voice. And there will be a rebirth of the Anishinaabe nation, meaning Anishinaabe will be put back on top of creation again, and rekindling of the old flames. So the old flames is metaphorical for a twin flame, meaning I'm hoping it'll be Jaden that comes forward, and then we can rekindle or reignite an old flame that she once had. So a rekindling of the old flames, Jaden, means if you did have an emotional attachment to a picture you found of me a long time ago, then that flame could be rekindled. Meaning, you might develop an emotional bond with the story that I'm telling, and realize that you can have everything that you've ever wanted if indeed that story is true. So that's the rekindling of old flames. If, however, you reject me and I have to move on to one of the other ladies, then the rekindling of flames means I find somebody who wants to be with me, and whoever that is, they now take that job as your job, and that's the rekindling of the old flames. Grandmother gets to spend forever with whoever it is that wants to spend forever with me, and that's the rekindling of the old flames. The sacred fire will again be lit. So the sacred fire is grandmother, and me having to put her soul into another female, whoever it may be. And I'm hoping that's going to be you, Jaden, but if it's not, then I have to find somebody else in the prospective 9, the other 8 prospective females. So that's the sacred fire. So if I can buy my soul to somebody, then that's grandmother as being the sacred fire will again be lit. And when we bind our souls together, the invisible electromagnetic radiation in the universe will be bound back together again, because it's been taken away because the bad guys are, basically have that, and we don't have that. So that's the sacred fire. We'll be lit, and it's at this time the light skin race will be given a choice between 2 roads. So this part here, you want to put this before the baby. So it's kind of putting the cart before the horse. So when you get to this part here, like this, the choice between 2 roads, I want you to put that part there, here where the water drum is, because the choice of 2 roads is you have to convert to spirituality. You have to walk up spirituality mountain, or you're going to walk down Death Valley. Those are your only 2 choices. And if you choose not to do the purification program, when I get whoever it is going to be the new mother of all creation pregnant, it's our baby that's going to eradicate evil. So the 242 trillion evil people will have their neural link shocked with positive electricity, and their soul shocked with positive electricity, which will disable the computer people, but will also put those 221 trillion people to sleep out there. They'll fall asleep, keel over in the streets, fall asleep, and it'll be mankind's job to go around and de-atomize the bodies. So that's the choice that you're going to be given. But that choice happens before I buy my soul to whoever it is I'm going to buy my soul to, and before I get them pregnant. So I'm not going to get her pregnant right away and then, get rid of people. So you, mankind, need to be given the opportunity to do the purification program, so that when we get a 100% participation here on planet Earth of everyone doing the purification program, that's when I can proceed with binding my soul to whoever it is the new mother is going to be. If it's Jaden, it's Jaden. If it's not Jaden, it's one of the other ones. So it's at that time that you'll be given the choice. So do you want to convert? Because I'm about to make love to this new mother of all creation and bind my soul to her, and then get her pregnant. And then 6 weeks after she becomes pregnant, there's going to be a great deal of electricity in the baby's spinal cord that's going to flow through everyone's spinal cords in creation. And if you're not pure, every atom in your body and in your body is going to get shocked with positive electricity, which will put you to sleep. That's the choice of 2 roads. So the light skin race will be given choice between 2 roads. So the light skin race doesn't mean Caucasian. It means light, which is spirituality. So it is at this time that the spirituality race of mankind will be given a choice between 2 roads. Do you want to convert and live forever, or do you want to not convert and fall asleep and then have your soul recycled back into creation over 1,000 years? So if they choose the right road, then the 7th fire will light an 8th fire, or 8th fire, and eternal fire of peace, love, brotherhood, and sisterhood. So that's you converting. So if you convert, you get to be brother and sister. But if the light skin race, or the spirituality race makes the wrong choice of roads, and not convert, then the destruction of which brought them in coming in this country will come back at them and cause much suffering and death to all of Earth's people. Meaning, in theory, it could mean that, we could lose a lot of people if they don't convert for whatever reason it may be. So That's what that last part of the prophecy is. But you have to put that before the baby. So this last part of the prophecy comes before the baby. So the choice of two roads, meaning do the purification program, convert to spirituality, and when we get participation, and I'm hoping to get 100% participation, and I get that call from whoever it may be, saying, okay, we've done our census, everyone's converted, you can now bind your soul to whoever it is you've selected, and you can now get pregnant. That's the choice of two roads. So don't worry about, me getting her, binding my soul to her and getting whoever it is pregnant, behind the scenes over here. Like, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going to go on. I'm telling you right now that there's a process, and that I'm not going to get her pregnant and destroy evil until we achieve 100% participation here. Because it's a long process. We have to get a message over the parallel universe to come over here to protect us from 242 trillion people who could come over here and invade us. So it's a very long process. And, and then there's the process of, you sleeper cell children out there who have to, do the purification as well. Because when you do the purification, you'll survive the pregnancy rapture or you'll survive the shock. So you guys have to make up your minds on what you want to do, because I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to go home and become who you want to be. You're going to have to stay here and be who you are now. And that process is also a long process. So there's that to consider. So you want to think of that as really focusing on the end part here, meaning you need to make a decision on what you want to do. I could let you go home and fly on a UFO over there if you want to go back home, but I guarantee you're going to get shocked when I get somebody pregnant. So I don't think you would want to fly home only to get shocked, right? It doesn't make sense. So only people that want to, turn good and live forever will survive the pregnancy rapture or the shock of the baby's spinal cord coming into existence. So that's what this is here. So please consider that, guys, when you're watching this video. I don't want you guys to go back home and be battered and be shocked. I'd rather you stay here and be who you are and let me build that second planet for you, where you guys can go live over there. Then we'll resurrect, the people's bodies that, you have taken over, and they'll be brought back to life. So that's what it's also referring to, guys. So, so again, the twin, to recap, I'm over here, so. The sacred fire and the rekindling of the old flames. The rekindling of the old flames, Jaden, is connected back to the future. Okay? So the rekindling of old flames is me trying to rekindle a flame that you once theoretically had for me by finding a picture at 88 through the association of the Audreys Honey Bun or Queen Bee being first in creation, and you finding a picture of me at 88. This is a really big clue that helped me find you. So if I can rekindle the old flame, that's the connection to the Seven Fires prophecy. But it's also connected to picture by Kid Rojo. Hey, so it means Audrey, somebody found a picture of me at Audrey's or Cheryl's that was taken by Audrey or 88. And that's the connection to Back to the Future. So which is connected. But that person has now, become cold as ice because of, my various attempts to try to make her understand who she is. So those are some of the clues that I use to find you and find her, mankind.